And now we would like to welcome our host, Mr. Nash Brownigans. Hello, Mr. Nash Browns.
Thank you. Hello, welcome to the Nash Brownigans talk show. Today's topic, Texas history. We've got multiple guests. First up, Father Hidalgo. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Nash Brownigan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Father.
Can you tell us about the Grito de Dolores?
The Grito de Dolores was basically me talking to the citizens of Mexico to stand up against the tyrants of Spain. It was a hard time for us. We were having to pay rough taxes for people that lived hundreds of miles away. A whole ocean covered this vast land. And so this was our cry for Mexican independence. Thank you. You know, I just got back from my siesta, so I'm a little tired. Okay. Today I'm here to talk to you about the Enlightenment and the divine right of kings. The divine right of kings is when all the kings of the world for centuries have been telling everybody to follow them because God had given them the right to be king. But that's not true. Well, because that's just plain stupid. And the Enlightenment, that's when people started to realize that it was stupid. And when I realized that it was stupid, basically, I told the Mexican people, we need independence. We don't need to be paying our dues to Spain. They don't do anything for us. We don't need to be giving them money.
Ah, I see. That is very interesting, Mr. Hidalgo. And this represents Mexican Independence Day?
Yes, September 16th, 1810. That's the day I gave my speech. And that represents Mexican independence because I rallied all the civilians of Mexico to fight against Spain for their independence. And I'm glad to say we were successful.
Wow. I see. Thank you for stopping by. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you too, sir.
To welcome our next guest, who's the father of Texas, Stephen F. Austin. No problem. So how do you feel about this immigration thing in Texas?
I find it keeps criminals out of Texas and makes it a better place.
So, what materials did you bring to Texas?
Well, we brought seeds, we brought weapons like axes, swords, materials to start a settlement, and just things that help us to make an economy.
I can understand that. How does Mexico benefit from immigration from the United States?
Well, the more people immigrating, the higher the tax is going to be.
So, how does the Constitution of 1824 affect the Texan colonists?
Well, one of the benefits of that was the states' rights they gave us, which is basically letting us make our own rules in Texas.
But wasn't that taken away?
Yes, that was taken away in the law of 1830, which basically took away our states' rights, and the Texans were really upset about it.
I see. So, did you guys try to reason with the Mexican government when the law of April 6, 1830 was passed?
Yes, 2 times, both in the Convention of 1832 and 1833. The Texans gathered to basically write a letter to Santa Anna, but he ignored the letters, so we did not get the...
There you go. How did the Texan colonists anger the Mexican government?
Well, one of the things the Texans did was they illegally immigrated to Mexico, which was one of the main reasons of they passed the law of April 6, 1830.
I see. Thanks for coming today, Mr. Austin. I hope you had as much fun as I did. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I'd like to welcome our last guest, Mr. Sam Houston. Sam?
Hello.
What was going through your mind during the Battle of San Jacinto?
Well, I was just trying to fight and honor the people who fell during the Alamo and the Goliad massacre, and just trying to honor the people who have fought for our country.
What a brave notion. So, how did you feel when James Bannon didn't follow your orders to send his troops to the Alamo?
Well, I was outraged because I gave him orders and he just didn't listen to them, and he really put a lot of lives in danger. And I mean, it's just, you don't do that.
I see. Just don't. Just don't. So, I understand Texas has evolved a lot since the Texas Revolution to the Washington on Brazos Convention. So, how really much else has it evolved?
Well, Texas has really came a long way. I mean, we came from being under control from Mexico and wanting to get our independence from the Revolution, and then to the Washington on Brazos Convention, where we finally became the Republic of Texas, and Austin was named the capital. And then about, I believe it was 6 years later, we weren't a republic anymore, And I mean, now currently we are one of the 50 states, and we have our own states' rights, and we're living a lot better than we were before, and we got our independence, so we really evolved in a good way.
Coming today, I would like for all of you guys to give Mr. Houston and all of our other guests a big round of applause. Talk show. Hope to see you next week on a new topic. In your review of your eyes, what really happened at the Battle of the Alamo?
Well, in the Alamo, William Barrett Travis and he gathered up all his men at the Alamo, the Texan Army, and some of the men were inexperienced, and we prepared the fight with the Mexican Army in Santa Ana, and we took out a pretty good chunk of the Mexican Army, but the Mexican Army did prevail, and we lost all of our men. But we fought honorably, and there was a pretty big battle of the Revolution.
Roughly, how many Texans do you think were there?
How many Texans? About maybe 189, 190, around that area. That's about the count we had before we went into battle.
And what about the Mexican side?
The Mexicans were about 5,000.
Wow.
And we took about 600 of them out. Yeah, it was a pretty big gap in men, as you can obviously.
And what actually was the Alamo before a fortress?
Before the Alamo, it was just a mission where it was just a mission where a mission is like a place where people, it's like a settlement with a religious settlement. It was called a mission, and it was just really a mission, and then we turned it into a sort of a battle area that would be the scenery of the Alamo battle, and it's a pretty historical feature now.
And where is this located modern day?
It's located in San Antonio, Texas, and you can actually go there and get a pretty good tour of the Alamo, and it's pretty fascinating historical research and everything that they did. It's just really interesting to see.
And I heard very recently the letter that William Barrett Travis wrote is on display the first time since it's back at the Alamo.
Yes, I actually going to go out to see that very soon, and it's they have put it in the Alamo because for I believe it is a couple weeks, but it can't be down there too long. But it's the letter that William Barrett Travis wrote before the battle, and it said if anybody who wants to come and fight for their country honorably, come down to the Alamo. And really nobody came, but it's a pretty historical letter in the Texas Revolution.
And do you happen to know the famous saying that was in the letter?
The famous saying, I believe, was victory or death, saying pretty self-explanatory. You either win or you die, and most people die. So.
Well, thank you. And for our next guest, we have the leader of the Mexican Army, Santa Ana.
Gracias.
Yay! So, it's my understanding that you led the Mexicans in the Texas Revolution?
Yes.
Alright.
I was their president.
And I know how there was 4 main groups of classification of Mexicans. Weren't you one of those? Like the Creoles?
I was the Creoles.
Creoles? And it was my understanding that they could not become president or any of the high ranks.
Well, yes, but I became a fairly high rank colonel in the Spanish army, and so I earned trust, and I told the Mexican government that I had betrayed the Spanish army after the revolution, so I would end with them. And how I gained the presidential spot is they had a very bad leader in Mexico at the time, and I led a revolution to dethrone him, and I became president.
Ah, well, fine history. And at the Battle of the Alamo, can you tell me a little bit about that?
On Battle of the Alamo, the Texans were really stupid. They had 200 people, and I had about 5,000, and they didn't run away. And it was also, I just despised that Sam Houston for not even sending men. He called himself an honorable man. He didn't even help his country.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he tried to, but just his men did not go.
That's what they want you to believe. But Sam Houston was a jerk. That's what you don't realize.
There you have it, the Mexican side of the story. Alright, so how many Mexicans died in the Battle of the Alamo?
A very little part of our army. I mean, it really did no damage to our army whatsoever. And I made sure that Sam Houston knew that.
Well, Sam, he said that you guys had about 600 deaths.
Well, I strictly told Susanna Dickinson to go and tell him that a very little bit of our army was killed.
Alright, now to start our debate of the battles of the Texas Revolution, let's welcome Mr. Sam Houston. Sam? I know we've got a little bit of rivalry going on here, but let's just try to get through the interview. So, you guys need to talk to me about the Battle of Gonzales. What happened there?
Well, I'll go first. I think it was kind of not my army's fault, but a certain commander, to be specific. He was the leader of a fort near the area of Gonzales, and we had sent them a small cannon to protect, so his colonists could protect themselves from Indian raids. He felt that it was unwise considering the situation. We had not started the revolution yet, and so he thought that it was his duty to go and take the cannon. He sent me a request, and I rejected it, saying to let them have the cannon. He went against my wishes, and then took the cannon from them and launched a huge attack on the colonists.
So, pretty much that whole battle was just the fault of one person not following orders?
Yeah.
So, is that pretty much, like, what's your side of these battles?
I don't really have a side. I mean, I can agree with that. We had the cannon, we got it from the Mexicans, and we weren't really expecting to get attacked. But we heard that one of their commanders went against them, and that's kind of how the battle started.
So, how did you guys come in possession of the cannon anyways? Like, why did they just give you a cannon?
We gave them the cannon to protect them from Comanche Indian raids. They're a very violent Indian race.
Thank you for watching our Texas Revolution video with Mr. Nash Browningans.
I hope we can see you next time on our next episode.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for your time, homie G. So, see you around.
See you, man. Bro.
The main reasons of what were some ways that the Texan colonists tried to anger the Mexican government?
Well, the Texans illegally immigrated to Mexico, and
Evyn.
let's keep it going, guys. And
Thank you for watching our Texas Revolution video.
Well, thank you, Mr. Houston. You had as much fun as I did.
Put a coat on your head. Put it out there.
Dude, to me, just have one.